Hi Ed from
Hi.
Thrice. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for asking. Okay.
Right, straight
Yeah,
in.
you're on the spot.
So basically, the new album is, well, personally, I think it's loads more socio-political than previous albums. Was this like a conscious decision, would you say? Or is it just to more fit with the feel of the album? It's quite a different sound.
I think we've had. I mean, I don't write the lyrics, but I think we've had more political lyrics also in the past, but this one was a little bit more obvious. But definitely, like, I guess a theme lyrically that I think Dustin chooses a lot is just like, you know, thinking about what you believe or why you believe things, or, you know, maybe trying to be aware of what's going on around you or in other countries, or, you know. It's funny though, because we had no idea what would be going on in our country before, you know, like when we were writing the record. Now the lyrics are pretty poignant, so it's, yeah.
Quite coincidental.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you think it's important to convey that in music? Because obviously a lot of people listen to music. Everyone listens to music of some sort. Do you think it's important to reach out to people and tell people that way? How important do you think that is? And is that why it's done in your music?
I think it's important to, like, I think musicians over time have always kind of, or artists just in general, have done things to take stances on what they believe or why they believe in. I think that can be a positive thing sometimes and a dangerous thing at other times. I think it's important to encourage people to think, like, beyond like what you're told, or you know, we kind of grow up in these areas where everybody around us kind of has like similar, you know, it's like a bubble of how you think about things, and I think that can be really dangerous. And with artists, they can influence people, and those people can like follow what they believe and not really have their own opinions or their own, you know, checking their own sources. But I think it's important to speak what you believe, and also encourage people to question like what they believe.
So we're in Nottingham now. We're at Rock City. This is sort of the first kind of time you've been able to come to the UK with this album. So what's it like? What, you know, every night you go out to a different crowd. What's it like seeing how fans are perceiving it live? Because I guess you've kind of, you know.
It's amazing. I mean, this record specifically has been pretty insane, how quickly people have caught on to it. I think we've done records in the past where, you know, their first couple tours on it, people are like kind of wanting to hear the older songs, and this one people have been singing along like right from the start, which is really encouraging and really, like, I don't know, we've been doing it for a while now, so it feels nice to still be doing it and have people still like what we're doing now, you know. Yeah, we're so lucky.
So obviously for me, I've waited years for the new album. The 4-year hiatus.
Yeah.
No way, couldn't deal with it.
It was rough for me too.
So in the new album, I was really happy to see that there was still more like philosophy, and there's like influence from writers and stuff. So like, what was your biggest influence, and would you like recommend anything to listeners to read or whatever?
Oh, that's rough.
I think it's great when sort of more than just musicians can influence music. You know, obviously,
Yeah.
other musicians are kind of obviously influence music.
Yeah,
but it's, I guess from other bits of culture.
I mean, I would have a hard time kind of speaking for Dustin on behalf of like what he was thinking lyrically, but as far as like musically, if you want to know that,
Yeah.
We've kind of been all over the place. Like I was listening to a lot of classical music. I know Dustin was listening to a lot of folky music, like Father John Misty and stuff. My brother, who plays drums, was listening to a lot of like heavy, like, more metal stuff. And then Tepe, I don't know. I mean, he was living on an island in Washington for years, and like kind of like detached from like what was going on in popular music, and was learning like a bunch of like folky songs and stuff. So kind of a pretty broad spectrum as far as influences go. And I mean, as far as lyrics, I do know that we're just watching what's going on in the world around us, you know. Yeah.
So when you came off that kind of break, off that hiatus, what was it that inspired you to kind of you know, say, right, let's get back to it, let's get back on kind of working on new stuff? And had you had kind of reflection time? Had you had what you wanted from the hiatus going into it?
I wasn't really prepared for the hiatus personally. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't really know it was gonna happen. And the record that we did before that, Major Minor, was like a really rough time. Each of us lost a parent. I mean, my brother and me lost our dad, and Dustin lost his dad, and Pepe lost his mom, all to cancer. And we had a bunch of our gear stolen. It was just like, it seemed like a really like dark time, and that's part of the theme of that record. Major Minor was like built on this, you know, the dark and the light of, you know, the world. And I think everybody was kind of defeated, and then Dustin had some opportunities that he wanted to take, so he was like, we need to take a break. It was difficult, but coming back, I think he kind of realized that he wanted to do it again. And you know, I wouldn't say that everybody was just like waiting for him to come back, but like everybody was in a good spot to where they were like, yeah, let's do this again. And I think it was healthy, whether I didn't know it was coming or didn't want it to stop or whatever. It was good to like gain some perspective and see how lucky we are and how cool our chemistry is together. So we all did music with like other people for the most part during the break, and then getting back together, we're like, oh, I need you for this and I need you for that. So it was really good to be back. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what I've read is that you've used loads more digital formats to do the album, so different ways of recording it. Mm-hmm. Is that just how you see the way that music nowadays is progressing, or is it just a different take from like jamming it out in the room, or would you still prefer that?
I still prefer jamming it out, but I think there's a healthy balance of the two that I think that we will do in the future. We're not working together. It's a lot more like cerebral, like you can like go over a part and develop your own personal idea, but you don't get a lot of the chemistry parts where two people are coming together and making a part that you wouldn't be able to make on your own. So I think the balance of those two is like ideal for our band. I don't know. I wouldn't prefer to do it how we did it on the last one, but I don't think it ended up bad at all. I like feeling it physically more, and that's what happens in a practice space or whatever. There's just certain ways that songs come out of your brain when it is a more physical thing, like you play a chord real loud and it's just like boom, rather than it being like in your ears. So yeah, as far as like building dynamics and stuff, I think it's good to have a mix of the two.
Okay, so final question now. One musician for you personally, who is the kind of the musician for you, you know, if that makes sense. So the one that you can cite a lot of influence towards as a person and as a musician, and someone who is just the pioneer for you, I guess.
For me, I mean, there's a lot, but there's one that came to my mind instantly, which is a guy named Mark Hollis. He's the singer of the band Talk Talk. I don't know if you would hear that in our music, maybe, but they did 2 records. I think their 2 last records. One was called Laughing Stock, and another one called Spirit of Eden. And I feel like it's just like a masterpiece. He also has like a solo record that he did after that that's really great too. But just creating songs in a way that's like really dramatic and dynamic and at times chaotic and kind of ear candy, like really good to listen to with headphones on. Songs that you listen to like the first time and you're like, oh, this is great, and then you listen to it again, you're like, whoa, I didn't hear that, and you listen to it again. I mean, I've even listened to it like years later and heard a thing that I didn't hear before, and it's just like, you know, endless amounts of, like, it just makes my brain explode. It's so good. Yeah, and he's from the UK too. He's a good dude. But he doesn't do music anymore. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, maybe he does, but I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, because he's kind of an 80s thing, wasn't it? Or maybe
yeah. I think those Talk Talk records, the last 2 were maybe early 90s, or right on the edge there. But like, yeah, they were like a pop, like more of a pop band, pop to 80s band, and then they did some really experimental stuff on one of their last like pop records, and then they did another record, and I think the label tried to drop them, the label that they're on, because it wasn't like a sufficient record or whatever. And I think it's influenced like a lot of musicians. I can't say this for sure, but I would imagine like bands like Radiohead and, you know, like a lot of bands that are doing more experimental soundscapey kind of music we're probably listening to him or that band, not just him. And changed my life. Like I had a friend give me the record and it changed my life.
Well, listen, thank you so much for chatting with us. Have a lovely show, and good luck with all future ventures.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.